All right, welcome back to another dreary Michigan day. So LEM just sent us this contraption. Looks like it could be a torture device or a fun Friday night. It's actually their Roots and Harvest fruit and wine press. So people will put their grapes in this. I think you mix in some sugar, some yeast, and seal it in a sterile container and let it sit for, I think, 4 weeks. And hopefully at the end of those 4 weeks you'd have wine. But today I am not making wine. I am not that dedicated yet. I still got to figure out how this process works. So today we're just going to make some regular fruit juice. I've got some oranges, I've got some Honeycrisp apples, and I've also got a pineapple. I don't know what the apple to juice ratio is. I don't know if, say, okay, so there's 6 apples in this bag. I don't know if that's going to make a cup of juice or 3 cups of juice. That's why I also went with some super juicy fruits such as the oranges and the pineapple. The only thing is we don't have a really good selection of pineapples right now, so this thing isn't quite ripe yet. So we'll see how much juice it spits out. To start the process, we're gonna slice up some of our fruits and get them into a more smushable shape, and then we're gonna put them in the fruit press. The way the fruit press works is you unscrew at this T-handle and it lifts up a giant metal plate. Once the plate is all the way lifted out, you can put your fruit into this basket and then you screw it back down, and then this plate on the bottom will feed into our bowl. So I'm gonna get this unscrewed, chop up the fruit, and then we'll go from there. The recommendation that LEM/Roots and Harvest has for your hard fruits is to crush them first. So I'm gonna crush these apples. Just kidding. I think what I'm gonna do, because I don't have a good way of crushing them per se, I think I'll just cut them up into squares. And then I'm gonna slice up the oranges in your standard orange cuts, and then same thing goes for the pineapple. I'm gonna throw it in that basket, smush it. I'm a little concerned I might need to add sugar to it. A lot of the juices you drink are supplemented with sugar. I'm hoping I don't have to do that because I want the drink to be as healthy as possible and taste good. So we'll see how this turns out. All an experiment. I believe there's something with apples having arsenic in their seeds. And I don't know how that affects smushing apples, because if you smush the seeds into your juice, are you getting arsenic in your juice? Another tip is when you're cutting up your fruit, the best place to do it is on your tailgate, where you throw all your dead animals and where your dog sits while you're waiting to go for a walk. It's a really cleanly process. It should help with the flavor. Now that we have our apple slices, we're gonna throw the slices into this. All right, so I got the apple slices in. Took up about 1/3 of the basket, so we'll have plenty of room for the rest of the fruits. So now on to the oranges. Make sure you keep your fruit stickers in there again for that added flavor. It looks pretty yummy, actually. Apples and oranges are in. Now onto the pineapple. The basket's almost full. I'm thinking I may have gotten too much fruit. Cutting this pineapple into pizza slices like this actually reminds me of something pretty important that I feel like everyone should know. Anyone who puts pineapple on their pizza is a no-good liar, dirty thief, a cheater, and they shouldn't be trusted with anything. Our basket is completely full. It's got 1 pineapple, 4 oranges, and 12 apples. I believe 12 apples. So now we're gonna move it back over to the press, slide it back onto that plate that drains all the juice down into a bowl. And I'm gonna answer a question you might have, which is, well, what about like all the extra skin and the stuff on the outside? If we look at our basket, of course, a lot of the bigger chunks aren't going to be able to escape this except for the liquid and the juice. Okay, cool. So what about after that if, say, you don't want pulp? That's where our bowl system comes into place. I've got a colander here, and I've got a paper towel inside of it. So in theory, what we're going to do is have our bowl, put our colander on top of it, and have all the liquid run from this plate down into the bowl, through the paper towel, and into our main collection bowl. It's probably better to use cheesecloth. I didn't have cheesecloth quickly handy, so I'm just using paper towel. Hopefully we don't get paper in our juice, but even if we do, we'll survive. All right, so now I'm gonna put the big basket on this guy and start the smush. Make sure it's lined up nicely. And we'll start spinning this. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. Spin it, spin it, spin it. Starting to smush. Now in a perfect world, you'd have this set up screwed or bolted down onto a solid surface. Like if you have like a picnic table or something like that. The feet have holes in them so you can bolt it down to a more solid surface. That way when you're cranking on something like this, it's not moving around, tipping and spinning on you. You got a little bit of juice there. And it's running the wrong direction. Oh no! Bolt your setup down to something solid and level, because as you can see, I kind of have a negative slope away from the bowl. So it's pulling on the back end rather than dropping in towards the bowl. So if I give it a little tip, it smells amazing. You can see in here there's little particles of who knows what, which again is why a cheesecloth or a paper towel, if it's all you've got, is good to strain it through. I think we still got a lot of smushing to do, so we're going to continue with that. Just for the sake of me being juvenile, I'm gonna lift this back up and see what the fruit looks like, because I want to see what it looks like half smushed. But we got a good amount of juice so far. Yep. Looks like smushed fruit. I'm gonna take my fruit bucket to kind of reposition some of it, because it looks like once it finds its form on the first press, it's hard to get any further than that. So if you kind of restructure the way it's laying in there, you might be able to get a few more smushes out of it, because there's plenty of juice still in here. Just a matter of me having the strength to spin that thing down tight enough. Like, look at that. It doesn't even look that smushed. I guess that also plays to the advantage of bolting down the rig itself, because then you can really start wrenching on it. All right, I'm gonna put that back in, cinch it back down, and see if we can get any extra juice. Helps a lot, actually. It's like I'm doing a whole new press on brand new fruit. Really glad I did that. Lots of juices coming out. I really wish I had just gotten a cheesecloth. I'm definitely gonna have to do a few more strains just to make sure I didn't get any gunk in there. A lot of the juice has drained out of this colander, and you can see that there's a lot of pulp and particles in the bottom. So what I'm gonna do is replace this paper towel, give this bowl another strain, and give this basket of fruit another mix and another press. And I think we can get the last remainder of juice out of it. As you can see, we're putting a lot of pressure on it, and the fruit's starting to come out the sides. So like I said, one more good press and then another filter on this set of juice, and then we'll give it a sample. It's really starting to look like the fruit is getting its juice out. Like this orange up here is just pulp. I think I've just about pressed what I can. smushed a full basket down to about 2 inches of fruit. And got almost, I don't even know how many cups that would be. The bowl doesn't look big, but there's actually quite a bit of juice there. And you could sit there and wrench on this thing all day and keep getting juice, but so now I'm going to give this a few more strains just to really get all the nasties out of that. Maybe let it sit in the fridge for a minute or two while it strains to chill it a little bit, and then try it out. All right, try it. Try the concoction.
I just like chug it. Wonder what this would do to my blood sugar if I just guzzled it. Did you do anything?
No, I didn't do anything.
You swear?
I swear.
You have a bad track record.
I do, but I'm hoping this one's okay.
Oh.
You gonna try it, AJ?
You had that at first watch with breakfast? It's good.
Come try it, AJ. Pineapple, apple, orange. No, nothing else.
Pineapple, apple, orange.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good. No added nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, it's.
I got a little buzz. Is this gin and juice?
I sense 80%, 90% pineapple. Or I'm sorry, orange, not pineapple. I don't taste the apple.
It's Pacific Cooler.
The apples were really hard to smush.
It tastes like Pacific Cooler. I just taste good mixture.
It's just good. It's good orange. You taste the
That would be
orange.
the greatest orange ever,
You
though.
can taste the orange peel.
I feel like it's a little tart.
Really? I thought it was pretty smart.
I think. You don't think it's too tart?
If you just drank it and you're at a restaurant, this would be like some of the best juice I've ever
If
had.
it was all orange, you would
Juice.
get like a crazy. Like,
What do you think I said?
Juice.
Oh, like Andy. No, not an Andy.
Mr.
That's great.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
dig that.
Just what Wilderness Athlete always wanted. Us to put a giant thing of sugar into a bottle.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. If you want to use the Roots and Harvest fruit and wine pressed, you can make some summery drinks on cold Michigan winter days. We did a good job with the juice. Maybe next time we'll maybe try to make wine. That seems a little sketch though. We'll see. I'll kind of do some research on that process and what that's like. And I've heard old-timey wine like that was like very...
Alcohol-y?
No, opposite. Where it was like you could just drink it.
Oh.
Like you'd have to drink a lot to like start getting your
No kidding.
freak on.
That's why Jesus was cool with it. It'd be really funny is I go back and watch this vlog and I have no idea how you made that juice. And you didn't get the LEM thing. You were one of those people that were in there with your feet and squishing it around and I go, oh gosh!
On a whole day. Stop.
Go to LEM, Roots and Harvest, check their stuff out. They've got lots of good stuff if you want to start making your own fresh produce food. I don't know what that you would
My
call that.
burps taste good now.
Yeah. So, all right. Tune in next week. Kyle's gonna
Walleye fish.
walleye fish. So it's the first week for it. So
Yeah.
should be good.